The car has always been seen as a status symbol. When you're growing up, you dream about your driver's license. You don't dream, and your next car, you don't dream about your next bike.
For many years, the idea was we'll just build more roads so we can fit more cars to get more people around. Now we're realizing, in cities like Washington, we don't have any more room to build much more in the way of roads. And we got to use those roads and the transit system as effectively as possible.
Across the world, and especially in the US, we're starting to see the effects of such heavy dependence on cars.
Developed countries especially, we're turning back to the bike. We're looking at the bike as a viable means, part of our transportation system.
More people need to bicycle to free up the road. They're not made for these large cars.
This last year, it seemed to all come together at once with gas prices. We really saw a lot of people ditching their cars and getting onto bikes for the first time in a long time.
Bike sharing is bike transit. It's a series of unattended stations, usually in an urban area, where there's a fleet of bicycles that individuals can use for a short term. With motor vehicles, there's a lot of pollution, so by encouraging bicycle travel, it's encouraging an environmentally mode of transportation, and it's getting people to where they need to go in a very healthful manner. We have an obesity epidemic in this country, and we need to create more opportunities for Americans to get more activity into their daily routine. This way, Americans, Washingtonians can get familiar with the concept of bike sharing and create the demand for it. And it'll really create a virtuous cycle. Sorry, I had to do it. As more and more people are bicycling, there becomes a greater demand for bicycle facilities. More facilities are built, more people bicycle. And bike sharing is one of the ways of getting more people to bicycle. I'd say the biggest challenges that DC has in bringing a bike sharing program to the city is making it safe.
I just don't think that at this point the streets in DC are ready for so many bikers. The main roads don't have bike lanes. Bikers are forced to share lanes with cars. It's just dangerous. There's some roads where it's fine because there's a bike lane, but the infrastructure in DC is just not ready yet for so many bikers.
If you really want people to ride their bikes for commuting, you have to provide them a place to do it, really provide them a place to do it, where it's safe, because it's not safe now.
We have had 2 fatalities this year already, which is about our average, but if you look at the crashes, which is 250 or so a year, we're actually down from last year to this year.
The biggest safety concern is obviously traffic, and that's what our association focuses a lot on.
It makes drivers a little tense and a little anxious to have to be not only watching the other cars, but watching people on bikes.
We try to teach cyclists about how to ride safely on the road and drivers on how to drive safely around a cyclist.
It just takes time to make a lot of these changes, but having said that, when I started we had about 3 miles of bicycle lanes and now we have about 40. So we have made progress.
If we can get people to sort of think twice about turning the keys in their car and instead going and grab their bike for a run to the store to get some milk, that's the kind of stuff we're after. We're seeing the numbers increasing every year. With a little more work and some more funding, I think we'd really be well on our way to being one of the best bike cities in the country.